Hello everyone and welcome back again. Now in this lesson we are going to carry on with our drawer navigation here. And let us continue setting up our view model. Since we already have got our buttons over here, so sorry, not the buttons, but the list items here. So then the list item we already have set up and everything is ready. Now we need to push that list item into a list of items. So because this is actually one item, and we need to push that inside an adapter, an array of list items, if you will. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to my view model, right click, create a new Java class, and I'm going to call this navigation drawer list adapter. And I'm going to hit OK. Right. So what the list adapter is going to look like. Now, let me just take this out. Now, the list adapter will inherit from, or extends, if you will, in Java kind of language, base adapter. Now, for the base adapter, we need to override a couple of things here. First of all, we need to specify a couple variables. First, you need to specify the application context. So we're going to have to pass an object of a context. We need to specify as well an array list, which will hold a list of navigation drawer items, right? Because as I already said, we need to actually import that. Let me Control X and hit Control Space and to import just the Java util. And then I'm going to call this, as I already said, we need to, we have this adapter, we're going to push into it these items, and these items are going to be populated on that list view inside this navigation drawer. So we need to create an array list of navigation drawer items. So I'm going to call this nav drawer item z. So we're going to have this plural part. And here alt insert, and I'm going to insert a constructor, which is going to grab those two variables. And later on, we're going to need to override certain things. So I'm here, override methods. And we need to have a couple of things here. Get count, get item ID, and get view. Those four methods we need to override. We have to have them there. So I'm going to hit enter. Now get count is just quite simple. We're just simply going to get the count of items which is inside our list. So we need to tell the adapter this is how many items you have. So or the adapter has to tell that it has this X amount of items in fact. So here I'm going to have return nav drawer items dot size, and that's it. This is for the navigation drawer size. Now we need to get an item. In order to get an item from the list is as simple as that. If we would like to override it, we're going to have return navigation nav drawer items dot get at a certain index of I. All right. Usually people like to rename this to position, which we're going to rename it actually later on there. And the get item ID, which is in fact its actual position, which is going to just simply return I over here. Now these are just simple bunch of overrides over here, which is going to be utilized by the system itself when it gets the adapter. It will start calling these methods on its own. We don't need even to do anything for it. The only thing here, we need to specify a couple of things. Now, on the internet, you can find a lot of people on the blog posts and everything. They actually rename these variables, and I think it's really a good idea to rename them. So just to keep everything in context, usually they rename this I to position, which is actually representing the position of the view. I mean the index of its position inside the array. All right. You can feel free to go ahead and just rename those two I's on position as well, but I'm just going to leave them there. I don't need them. So here I'm going to have Usually people call this, instead of view, converted or convert view. All right, and the view group is the parent, which is to which, what is the parent of that view group? I mean, what is the parent of that, of every item we are going to actually populate? So, right now, we need to check, first of all, if the actual view equals to null, which in fact represents one single item, by the way. Remember this convert view we are converting, this view is in fact a list item. And we're going to check if it is null. If it is in fact null, so it doesn't, we still haven't populated it, if it's actually, it doesn't exist, we're going to have layout inflator. And the layout inflator, what it does is it will actually inflate our XML file with these data in runtime. As you can see here, our XML files, they are actually, I mean, we hard-coded them, we write them there. However, you can in fact inflate or write to them in real time or insert to them in real time using this layout inflator. And I'm going to call this inflator equals to layout inflator, oops, not form, layout inflator, context, or you can call this dot context dot get system service, and right here we're gonna specify context. Well, you know what, if I hit control space, it actually can give me, instead of me writing the whole thing, it's called layout inflator service. And as you can see here, it's written for me the context.layout inflator service. So I'm getting the, from the system, from my context, I'm getting this inflator system service. So I can start inserting the stuff. And here I'm going to say convert view equals to inflator dot inflate. And right here, I'm going to inflate with what? With our, sorry, with r.layout dot, I think we called it lst, let me see here, nav list item, there you go. So last, nav list item, okay, nav list item. And the parent is going to equal to null because we're going to rely on our system to insert, to give that parent automatically. To tell what this item is parented to. So we're going to give that to our to the Android operating system to figure it out for us. Now here we're going to do exactly the same thing. Right now we just simply told what you're going to inflate. All right. So we told the view. All right, you're going to inflate that XML list view with these items using that layout. Now, what we're going to need to do is to specify what's going to happen, what's going to go inside these layouts. Now, you're going to see quite similar code to the one which we used on the while we are doing on create method. All right. So over here, I'm going to have image view. I'm going to call this icon equals to image view, and then here I'm going to say convert view dot find view by ID, and right here I'm going to have r.id dot icon. So we've got the icon. Text view, I'm going to call this title, and then we're going to have cast it to text view as well. Convert view dot find view by ID r dot title. All right, and another text view, the final one, text view counter equals to text. We're gonna call that text view convert view dot find view by ID r dot ID dot counter. Okay. So we've got that. Now we need to set every one of those. So we're gonna have to set the icon to something. So we say set image resource. And right here, we're going to have to specify which resource. And here we're going to utilize the navigation drawer items dot get position, get that specific position, dot get icon. Okay? So for every navigation drawer, we're going to have to specify, for every item in that navigation drawer, we're going to push inside the icon, the title, and the text when we create it, and then we're going to push it inside this array adapter. We're going to tell this array adapter or this navigation drawer list adapter, we're going to push inside it these items one by one using the constructor. I need just to all right, let me just hit, I think it's called Shift R here, or what was the refactor key, push up key for it? Refactor, rename, Shift F6, sorry. Because I've seen right now just that I made a typo, adapter. There we go. So I just renamed it here. Okay, and now moving forward, title dot set text, and we're gonna give it navigation drawer item dot navigation drawer items, I think, or what did I navigation? Sorry, nav drawer items dot get, and then right here we're going to get the position and dot get title or get label. In our case, we actually put the label in there. All right, so we got the title. Now here comes the interesting part. As I already said, part of our application will be shown, especially I'm talking about the counter here. That part will be shown for only one item, but it won't be shown for other ones. And in order to specify who is going to be shown and who's going to be not, we have to check out the is visible or the is counter visible property, which are already included inside the navigation drawer item class. So here I'm going to have a small if statement. I'm just going to say if nav drawer items dot get position dot is counter visible. So if it is actually visible, if I set in the constructor of that item it is visible, I'm going to hit the counter dot set text, and right here I'm going to have set the text to, oopsie, sorry about that, set the text to, now we have two ways of this because the counter is in fact, as far as I remember, the counter is an integer. So let me show you this, nav drawer items dot get position dot get, sorry, I'm mixing between, I should have been consistent here, but it's okay, dot get dot get counter. Now counter here is an int as far as I remember. Let me see here. Oh, it's actually a string over here. And the icon is an int because it's an actual resource, because the resources in Android are referring to them to their you're referring to their ID, which actually the resource goes ahead and grabs them. But the string over here, the counter is a string, so it's okay then. If this was an integer and you have ignored this and you have written it like that, you will end up with an error that this view wasn't found, I think, or you're gonna get actually quite interesting error. Not this only the view is not found, but yeah, the view is not found for that to set that string, and this because you passed here another data type other than string. So here either you just simply set the value to be like string dot value of, and right here you put your integer here, or you just simply say that counter dot to string, and then you convert your integer to whatever numerical value to string, right? So just in case if you face that problem. All right. Now for the else here, we're gonna have here counter dot set visibility. Now right here, I'm gonna set it to gone. Now this is quite interesting. This in fact is a view. Now I didn't hide it, I just set it to gone, because if I set it to hide, I think here we have hide here, no? Or hidden? Actually I cannot feel. Oh, sorry, to invisible, so to hide, or there you go, invisible or visible, you have those three states. Now, I said if you set it to invisible, what will happen here is it will be actually invisible. However, it will reserve that place. So whatever you have in your layout, you're going to have, for example, a continuous views and then suddenly an empty space and then another continuous views. So you will end up with kind of weird reaction from your activity, even though that item is actually invisible. But if you said it's gone, it's completely going to disappear from your layout completely. It will behave that this part of your layout or that view didn't even exist in the first place. So you have to set it to gone if it is not there. And here I'm going to have to return the convert view. All right. Now, what you saw here, this is exactly what's going to happen when we start filling in our data from the students from the database. We are just getting the data from the database, filling in the adapter based on the view model. What we get, we have a view model. For example, in our case, the view model here is the navigation drawer item, and we are filling this list of items, this list of adapters. We are filling it in with these items. All right. So that's why that's why it's quite easy to fill it in here. In our case, for example, if you have a student or grades or something else, we're gonna have just simply to have a student class, and we're gonna make this more like generic. So this is not gonna be an array list of navigation drawer item. This case is gonna be array list of students, and then we're gonna just simply get the data of the student and just simply push them in there. All right. You're gonna see how this class is gonna be utilized. It's really very, very straightforward, but we needed to prepare this part of the code, so it will be a lot easier for us to hook up everything together on the once we are actually done with the preparation over here on this business logic side. All right, so we are done with the navigation drawer. We are done with the item over here as well. The only thing which I think is left is to actually use this, start filling in or using this class in order to fill in the data which we need. Now you're going to see a lot of again. This is more like how can I put this? This is a little bit more of a labor work really, and there are a lot of libraries available for you that you can use it. I think in you see in Android Studio over here, you can create an activity with a navigation drawer right away built in. However, I really wanted to walk you through the building of the whole thing from scratch so you can see the process of building a UI layout on your own, by yourselves. All right. Oh, actually, I forgot a very important thing. Sorry about that. We need first to put the layout of our DLMS home to something. So we need actually to fill in the part where we're going to say we're going to actually fill in. We're going to have a navigation drawer. So let us start working on that first, and so we can start addressing it from the class side. Otherwise, when we write our class, we're going to run into a trouble that we cannot actually write actual code against our UI. So we don't need this text view anymore. All right. Let me enter here. Now here's the trick to apply this layout for the navigation drawer. We need first of all, it's not going to be a regular kind of layout over here. I'm just going to Control X that for now, so we don't have anything in here. And here I'm going to put Android dot support and there you go, and support and support v4 widget drawer layout. I think this is the one which I need, right? And of course we're gonna have to I'm gonna just put this here for now because there are some data. I cut some data from here. I'm gonna have to complete it, by the way, but I'm gonna close this tag. So I'm just gonna close this here, and now I need to fix that part. Now, what is this? Why is this here? Why it is not something like relative layout or something like that? And this is because Android developers have realized that, or people who are working at Google on the Android development, they realize that the drawer navigation is something really cool. It has to be integrated into all operating systems. So it has to go even backward, and it has to be backward compatible. So basically, this drawer navigation wasn't available on Android since it actually came on, or since it was made, and it actually came a little bit later. So in order to support earlier platform, they wanted to integrate even on earlier platform. Right now, we're going to have to use the backward compatibility kind of call to the library. So we're gonna, let me just paste this because I'm gonna grab a couple of things from here. First of all, I'm gonna grab the XML/NS schemas from here. I'm gonna copy that, paste it here, and I'm gonna give this an ID. I'm gonna call this Android:ID is gonna be @ID. I'm gonna call this drawer_layout. All right, so I'm just gonna keep it that way for now. And here, Android layout _width is gonna be match parent. So it will actually fill the whole thing. Android:layout_height match parent. All right, and now I can just simply get rid of all this. Okay, so right now I've just called upon this external library. Now, what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to specify, because everything is going to happen right here. So we want to fill in, whatever we select, we fill in that space with something. And that something is going to be a fragment. So we're going to have like 4 fragments representing the 4 features which we'd like to include. And for every click on an item, we're going to just simply exchange that fragment. However, we need to put that fragment inside a container. So that's why we're going to have a frame layout. Now, a frame layout is a layout which you can in fact specify things there. Almost, you can look at it like almost with X, Y, and Z, like positioning everything really in a much custom way. Nothing is you can actually place objects even above objects and so on and so forth. So it's actually kind of interesting layout over here. I'm just gonna put that match parent, so it actually fills the whole layout, fills the whole screen. And right here, I'm gonna have Android:ID and add. I'm gonna call this the frame_container. Okay. So right now I named my frame, or this fragment, container. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is, right now I'm going to have to push in that list view. Now in order to push that list view, by the way, this list view is the one which we're going to put there, our list item. This is in fact our menu over here. So this is going to be the container, and here is the menu. So right now for the width, I'm going to give it 240 dp. And for the height, I'm going to give it match parent. So it will take the navigation, this navigation drawer will span from the top to the bottom of the screen of this activity. And 240 dp until, like from this side to this side. So it doesn't take the whole thing, it just takes part of it. So I'm going to take this out as well. I'm going to put here a slash. And let us fill in a couple more properties. For example, we need to name our list view. So I'm going to have here ID add plus ID. And right here, I'm going to have lst underscore nav bar. All right, so I'm going to call this, or you know what, B like this. It's going to be easier. All right. All right, so this is the layout. So we need, and as you can see here, the moment when I actually put that, as you can see here, we got our list. It listed right there. Now we're going to need to push this guy to this whole thing. We're going to have to push it really to the side. So we're going to have to say Android colon layout underscore. Well, I'm going to have to force it actually gravity equals to, and right here, although it's not on the autocomplete, because maybe because of it's the nature of it when it's from the compatibility library apparently. But anyway, the gravity here is going to be on the start, right? And as you can see here, the moment I put the gravity layout underscore gravity start, you see where it happened, where it actually kicked in. It's completely outside of the activity. You see, because when you drag it, it will be actually moved to here. So this is the width of it, and it's just going to be moved to inside. All right, let me close it. Let me just minimize this right now. Let's add a couple more properties. First of all, this is a list item. We would like to know how many items are going to be chosen. So I say this is going to be a single choice. So you can actually when you click on an item, this is the only item you can select. You cannot select two items at the same time. Here we're going to have an Android underscore or colon. We're going to have here divider, and the divider we need to give it a color, and that color is going to be, I'm going to put this as dark gray. By the way, we're going to, for every list item, we're going to give it in fact a background, a different background. All right, and here Android colon divider height, and we're going to give it like 1 dp because it's going to be really, really tiny. It's like 1 pixel. That's just 1 pixel right there. This is like how the subdivision is going to be, like how the items are going to be divided. And Android LST or list selector, and right here we have to specify the drawable for our list items, how they will look like when they are going to be clicked, how they will look like when they are not going to be clicked, or when they are not going to be chosen. So we're going to need to put that. I'm going to put them in a second here. But first of all, let me, before that, I'm just going to put here the background. And the background, add color white. So we're going to give it a white color. All right. So I'm going to just leave this line here, and I'm going to have to go to the drawable, right click, new drawable resource. And right here, I'm going to have, well, let me see here. Maybe I'm gonna just give it as a shape. Normally, I will actually leave it as shape. And right here, I'm gonna have lst underscore item underscore pressed. I'm gonna hit it. Okay. And right there, I'm gonna actually complete it in a different way over here. I'm just gonna leave it. Android colon shape is gonna be rectangle, and right here we're gonna give it a solid color. So we said this is the pressed one, so we're gonna give it a dark orange. So whenever somebody presses on the button, it will just have this dark orange part. And I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to right-click, new drawable resource file, and here I'm going to have shape as well. I'm going to have lst underscore item underscore item, actually lst item unpressed or depressed, if you will. And I'm going to hit OK. And right there, I'm just going to hit Control V, and instead of dark orange, I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to keep it white. All right, so it's pure white. And then we're going to have to specify the selector, of course, which is going to toggle between the two states. So here I'm going to leave it as selector for the root element. And for our name, I'm going to call this lst underscore item underscore selector. Hit enter. And here we're going to specify item Android colon drawable. And right here we're going to have to specify add drawable. And we need to specify when the item is pressed. Once it's selected and once it's pressed, like the same like the button, lst underscore pressed, it's going to happen when the Android colon state underscore selected is true. This is 1. And when the item of Android colon drawable, draw, why, drawable, that's the item, oops, not depressed, but pressed. I'm going to call this Android state, not pressed this time. Well, actually, yeah, there you go. It's actually pressed. That's what I needed. All right. So one is pressed, and then we're going to leave this the default one, which is Android colon drawable of unpressed or depressed, not btn not btn, lst underscore item underscore depressed Android colon nothing actually. I don't need anything for it. It's just going to be the default one. All right. So we have got that, and then here we are going back. Let me close this. We don't need it anymore. We don't need that one as well. Not this one, and we don't need that one. And right here, I'm going to have the Android colon item list selector. There you go. Add drawable, and then here I'm going to call this lst underscore item selector. All right. So this one is going to be responsible for our item selector. As you can see here, this is very, very simple. Okay. Now, what we need to do here is start creating some fragments, which are going to be thrown inside our activity over here. So I'm going to go inside my layout. I'm going to, you know what? Actually, you can create it from anywhere. I'm going to have new activity, and it's going to be a blank one. All right. And this is where the part where, hang on a second. Can I actually create directly from here a fragment? There we go. A fragment blank. This is excellent. So we have a fragment. It's going to be a blank fragment. Create, please, an XML layout for it. Include any fragment factory methods. No include interface callbacks or anything. I'm just going to create. Well, I'm going to call this. Well, for now, yeah, okay. I'm going to actually create every one. So material fragment, and let's hope that I didn't misspell anyone. I'm going to hit finish. Let's see how it looks like. So as you can see here, it extends the fragment, and you have the onCreate view. And by the way, the fragment has a quite similar life cycle as the activity. However, if the activity gets destroyed, the fragment within that activity gets destroyed along with it. All right. Okay. So, and since we created this material fragment, I think fragment material. There you go. You got already the fragment layout. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this as here for now, like this. Maybe I can even change this to I'm gonna call this you know what? So let it be capital Android colon layout underscore send. Why doesn't, interesting, center vertical, I'm searching for that part. This is very interesting. Column, layout, let me see here. Well, this is kind of weird. I cannot find any. centering over here, nor padding, nor direction. Because it's actually a frame layout. All right, so I'm gonna make this as relative layout. Sorry about that. I actually haven't noticed. I thought that I have a relative layout. Maybe I should have specified this on the creation part. All right, let me see here right now. So Android layout center vertical is gonna be to true, and Android layout underscore center horizontal equal to true. So let me see here why. Well, this is kind of weird. For some weird reason, I don't get it rendered. But anyway, we're gonna see that later on when we actually get into it. Anyway, this laying out part will not happen until we get to filling in the activity. And let's go ahead. Oh, wait a second. Oh man. Because the whole control actually took the width and the height. I actually haven't noticed this part. How come I haven't noticed? But don't ask. Anyway, there you go. Sorry about that. Actually, it's because the width and the height of the control actually took over the whole thing. Wow. So basically, if you run into such case, I think if I said this match parent and match parent, anyway, this right now I'm getting full screen. However, if you would like to really center it, I think right now you have to rely on the content part. So Android gravity, and right here if you say center, right now it's really centered. There you go. Because right now this gravity it actually talks about the content rather than the content of the view rather than the location of the view itself. All right. So since I don't need that, I just simply gonna return this to wrap content and wrap content. Okay. So we solved our problems. Now I'm going to go ahead, right click, create new fragment, blank fragment. And yes, please create a new layout. And apparently I don't have even the choice somewhere here to create what kind of layout I need. But anyway, I can actually change this. So this is going to be, so we created the materiality part. We're going to have est fragment. This is the name of the fragment. And I'm going to hit finish, and I'm going to need to change its layout later. I'm going to add one more fragment blank. I'm going to call this Priya fragment. I'm going to hit do not and finish, and we're going to have one more. Hopefully, final one. I think. Ding, and we're going to have. Fragment. I'm gonna hit OK, finish that. Here we go. So I've got that part. I don't need these comments. I don't need the other ones as well. Right. So the login activity, this and the other activity. We've got all of those guys. So what I'm going to do here is, I think it would be not a very safe bet, but let me have a look here. Because of that part, we shouldn't make a mistake, because by the way, this is actually referring to the class which is belonging to. So I'm going to copy that part, paste it over here, and rename this to relative layout. So this for Priya, I'm just going to replace that relative layout as well, and Ruspi as well. Place that, and it's going to be relative layout. In fact, the text view as well could be changed. So I'm going to actually grab this part from Materiale and then paste it over here. Except we're going to just simply change this from Oba est. And then here Priyava is going to be as well the same. up. Actually, you're not. I'm in USP apparently. Yeah. All right, and I missed one. So, right. So every layout has its own. Okay. So material is here. OpenVST. USP. Okay, we are good. Let me close all. And let me grab the elements home. All right, so created our fragments. We created their classes. Now all what we need to do is start referring to them and hook everything up inside our DLMS home. I would, in order just not to make this lesson very, very long, I'm going to actually leave this to the final part, part 3, where we're going to actually finalize this navigation drawer layout. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next lesson.